Hi, welcome again to our channel, Into Care Tarot Support Services, and I am going to share with you on about tarot decks and what is actually out there. So, what you are going to see out there is all based on this little guy right here. This is the Rider-Waite Tarot. This is actually the Radiant Rider-Waite. It's recolored, re-illustrated, but it's the same basic thing. It's also based, you'll find decks based on the Hermetic Golden Dawn. And this is the go-to Golden Dawn deck used by that order. I myself have training in both through Biddy Tarot and independent training through the Rider-Waite and training with the Golden Dawn. So you will hear little bits and pieces of that along the way. Decks that you'll find are clones mostly. This is the Vice Versa Tarot. You will find both the front and the back. And you're mostly going to see this deck in the coming weeks. This is the Witch's Tarot, another clone. In my trainings, you're going to find this is the So Below deck of the Book of Shadows Tarot. Here's As Above. Or spiritual. When it comes to finding a tarot deck, you want one that's going to speak to you and meet your purposes, meet your needs. For that reason, when you get a deck, which we'll go through later, you will, in part of your preparation, you will want to do a deck interview, finding out what exactly is the purpose of that deck in your collection. This one here is the Healing Light Tarot. As you can see, now we're kind of in the gray area of where there's a third type of tarot deck, which are the decks that are kind of going off of the old school and going into their own decorative ideas of what the tarot should be. An example of that deck is Steampunk. Steampunk is a very common, actually not common, very popular tarot deck. This one is the Steampunk God of the Machine deck. By the way, all these cards that I've just shown you are of the Fool, believe it or not. And there are more. There's so many more that I really couldn't go into them. You can go to Eclectic Tarot online, and they have a huge database with pictures and what have you that you can find many of these cards on and more. So those are the tarot decks that you're going to find. You are also going to find what's called an oracle. And one question that I often receive is, what is the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck? Well, these, I've just pulled out the major arcana on these ones. The major arcana, which is what we're going to be working with in learning the tarot at first, is the first 22 cards of any deck. The other 56 cards are actually the minors, and they kind of go along with your basic deck of cards. And so that is what a normal tarot deck would give you. There are some decks, they're kind of rare, that have the infamous squirrel card from The Simpsons. I don't have that one here on display, but I do have it. Which you can often find. When Lisa Simpson went to see the fortune teller, she pulled out that card. And they kind of made that card just for that. So, if anybody wonders where the squirrel card is in the major arcana, well, it isn't. So, another thing you will find is oracle cards. That's the difference. Is that the tarot All these are 78 cards, as I just said, major and minor arcana. And they basically have, except for the artistic ones, they basically have a common thread going through them. So, the oracle cards, on the other hand, can be any shape or size. This one, for instance, pretty. Love these. I use these for readings in which people need something a little bit more hands-on. And this is called Work Your Light Oracle cards. So you can find any design, find angels, flowers, anything you want. Energy is the other one I have, the Energy Oracle. Now, the challenge with oracle cards is this. There are so many of them that it is impossible, unless you are extremely intuitive. It's nearly impossible to read these without having some kind of application of the book. By the way, these are put out by Hay House. Another excellent place to go for tarot and oracle. It's the Energy Oracle. And you find the more often you use the cards, the more comfortable you will become with them. And the better able you'll be to hone your gifts. This deck has a larger number of cards. This has 54 cards in it. And so what I do when I'm using the Oracle deck is I will start out with the message given by the author, and I will go ahead and let my intuition go from there. As you can see, there's quite a many here. Some of them are pretty obvious. Like, who wants this one? Financial constraints. Broken heart. This one is the Angel of Strength. You will also find the Strength card in the tarot. So this one would be easy to read. You would just read it the way you would read the Strength card in the tarot. So, these are the various decks that you can find online or in any bookstore that you so choose to go to. So our next video will be what to do with it once you have it. All right? So you have yourself a blessed day. Namaste.